Desert Healthcare District and Foundation presents a podcast that supports your health and wellness where you live. This is Healthy Desert, Healthy You, hosted by Will Dean. Now, here's Will.
Hello friends, thank you for joining me today. We are going to have an interesting conversation about a topic that you may not hear much about in the Coachella Valley, and that is our farm working community and our immigrant community. I'm joined today by Baltazar Aguirre. He is a senior organizer with UFW Foundation. Welcome, Baltazar.
Thank you, Will.
So it's great to have you here. Please tell our listeners a little bit about UFW Foundation's mission, the kind of work that you do in the community.
Okay, so our core purpose in the UFW Foundation is to empower our communities so they can have basic human dignity. We are a nonprofit, 501c3. We work to advocate for farm worker labor rights and protections, not only here in the Coachella Valley, but across the U.S.
Oh, across the U.S.?
Yes.
Okay, that's wonderful. A lot of people may not know about our agricultural community, but it is a significant part of the valley. Can you talk a little bit about the impact of that community, that industry in the Coachella Valley?
Yeah, so farm workers are essential, right, to our nation, to our food supply. Every day, farm workers care for livestock, they tend the crops, they harvest the crops. It's a lot of hard work, and unfortunately today, many of them are under attack. Here in the Coachella Valley, the economic contribution it's a big one. It's considered the second largest contributor to the local economy, with a total impact of about $1 billion annually, including retail business activity. It's also estimated the crop value in the Coachella Valley for 2024 was about $648 million.
Right.
So it's a big part of the Coachella Valley's
That is huge.
economy.
Yeah. I know a lot of people may know about the date farming part of that, but there is a lot more. Many other crops that are grown in the Coachella Valley. What are some of the other crops that we grow here?
Believe it or not, there's blueberries, there's grapes. We do melon, onion, peppers, lettuce. It's a large variety of many crops. There's also Chinese vegetables as well.
Wow, okay. So how many families or individuals would you say UFW Foundation works with?
It's a pretty large number. To start, the foundation we have is a text program. It's a text program that anyone can sign up to. We do outreach to encourage a lot of the farm working communities to be part of this text boost. And whenever we have an event, whenever we have Facebook Live or some kind of important discussion, some kind of important news that we need to put out there, we can use this text boost to send out and reach all these individuals. I know the number for that digital program is about more than 95,000 individuals that are signed up.
95,000?
95,000.
Just here in the Valley?
No, that's in California.
In California,
In California, yes. And we just also released our impact report, where we get to some of our numbers. And just in grassroots advocacy, our organizers on the ground were able to reach more than 9,000 engagements with workers.
Is there part of that number is the migrant or seasonal farm working community? Is that still a significant part of it?
It is. We serve the farm working communities. As many know, farm workers migrate up and down the states, up and down. Here in California, a lot of them come from the Central Valley. They leave when they follow the crops. Those numbers are pretty difficult to get data from, especially today, because some folks aren't following the crops as before because of the immigration situation at hand.
And we're definitely going to talk about ICE because that's such an important part of what's happening in our community. What are some of the biggest misconceptions you think people have about farm workers, about immigrants in general in the Coachella Valley?
In my opinion, I think one of the biggest is they're stealing American jobs, that they're criminals, or they're just looked down upon. I told you before this, my parents were both farm workers. Many of my coworkers' parents are farm workers, and we've seen it on the ground too. The farm workers are people who are here to work, provide for their families, and many love the job. They love tending to earth, providing food. It's for many, they see it as a beautiful job, as hard as it is. I think they're just honest, hardworking individuals who are just here trying to seek They're part of the American dream.
And I love hearing that they love the work because it is not easy work. When you think about some of the temperatures that we have here in the valley and to be outside tending to crops, it's not an easy thing. So I have a lot of respect for that. So let's talk about the ice raids that have been happening in the Coachella Valley and how the people that you work with, the UFW Foundation works with, now for 20 years you've been around, but how the foundation works with these people who are affected and what they're experiencing.
Right. So on the ground, a lot of our organizers, we do Know Your Rights clinics, presentations, information sessions, so folks can come in, and we invite anybody because you might be illegal in this country, but you have the power to help your neighbor, your friends, your family. You can get educated, and you can go out and inform your community. So empowering the communities, letting them know that they have rights, whether they're undocumented or not. So we help out with that. We do house meetings. We do on-the-ground outreach. We do special events for the communities. So a lot of work. We hand out the red cards. The red cards are pretty important for them to feel a little safer. I know we've almost reached the point where sometimes the community gets frustrated and they're like, those red cards aren't working anymore. We need more than that.
So what do the cards do?
The red cards have folks' rights on it, whether they're immigrant or not. If an agent or if any federal agent comes to your door knocking, it lets them know that you know your rights. They can slip it under the door, and unless they have a signed warrant, they're not able to come into your house. So it's a little document that's important to empower our communities.
And you mentioned that some people are frustrated with those. What is the frustration?
So what we've been seeing throughout the country, it's an overreach of power from agents, and sometimes they're not even upholding the law. Also, sometimes the news is a little too alarming. Our communities soak that in, and it's frustrating to them. What is this red card going to do if what we're seeing is an overreach of power and abuse of power? And so we've heard from community members, like, we need a little bit more. We need our representatives to come out and stand up for us.
One of the things I've been hearing about what people are experiencing, that a lot of people are afraid to leave their homes, to go to their jobs, to go to the grocery store. Is that what you're also seeing, or is that part of the alarmist reporting that we're seeing?
Yeah, here in the Coachella Valley, luckily we've only just this year we started seeing an uptick in ICE activity. We had a couple incidences last year, but it was, I don't know if you recall, it was more like a military action out there, but it was because of the marijuana farms. So there was illegal activity there, but it came with caravans of ICE and military vehicles, and after that the community was alerted and on their toes and fearful that might keep happening. But this year, unfortunately, we have been seeing our communities being hit by multiple ICE activity. We've seen them go door to door. We've seen them barge into our meat markets out in the east side of the valley with brute force. They just go in, even though the folks in the store are saying this is private property, you can't come in with the warrant. They just ran in there, tackled an individual, and arrested them. And news like that spreads quickly in our community. So right away, fear spreads. We've seen more presence of ICE this year. There's rumors that, we see a certain hotel just got booked, and it might be ICE agents, when really it was just like the yearly lacrosse tournament that was here. So tensions are high, people are scared. We have heard, as you mentioned before, how just yesterday me and my coworker were out in the fields doing a little Know Your Rights, a little lesson, little informative session training. And they were short on workers. 2 younger folks didn't show up because there was ICE activity in their community, and then one of the workers told us that they were pursued by ICE, so they didn't show up to work that day. We don't know if they were comprehended or not, but they let us know 4 people didn't show up today. Like, they don't want to leave their house because of that fear.
So that's a very real fear. You're seeing it and you're hearing about it as well.
Oh, yes.
So when you mentioned that community residents are really wanting their leaders to speak up and for them, are you referring to elected leaders, or what are you referring to?
Our elected representatives. The frustration has led to that point. We voted for them. They should be representing us. Some have been out there, but I guess certain community members want a little bit more, and they want to see that they're really represented and want a little bit more action regarding all of the ICE activity in the valley.
So how much of your time or the time and effort of UFW Foundation is dedicated to actually responding to the ICE raids now? Because it wasn't always like this. So how much of your time now is devoted to that?
I think that just depends what's happening around our communities. We have organizers in Georgia, Michigan, and Washington. Here in California is where we have the most. We have up to Fresno, all the way here to the Coachella Valley. And I think it just depends on the situations. If there is heavy ICE presence, then we devote 100% of our time and resources to that. I think most of our teams are part of rapid response networks, which is a volunteer system of community members, clergy, pastors, priests, community leaders, different organizations, members of the community that are just part of this group. And they collaborate, they organize to confirm ICE presence, to if it's not really ICE activity, maybe it was just like a police, like a law enforcement job, or sometimes, most of what we've seen here in the Valley, I think it's a lot of targeted. They're looking for certain individuals that may have already a criminal record, but unfortunately, we've seen that they're taking innocent people. And I think the rapid response networks are there to help and to do the best we can to serve our communities and make them feel a little safer.
So in addition to elected leaders speaking up and reassuring and helping the community, we have podcast listeners, I'm sure, who are concerned about this, and even though they may not be directly affected, want to do something. What is the best way that people can actually help in this situation?
I think the first step I would say is join one of these rapid response networks. Like I said, they're community-based. There's a few of them here in the Valley. I don't have the information off the top of my head, but there's certain orgs in San Bernardino that come all the way out here to help. I know here in the Valley, it's a nonprofit, TODEC. They have their own rapid response network and phone number that we can call, just to maybe call in, report some activity, confirm the activity. We have a rapid response WhatsApp chat group that has more than 60 individuals in it. Like I said, it's made out of pastors, priests, community members, organizations, community leaders, farm workers. And that's what we've been using on the east side of the Valley. But like I said, there's multiple networks that are doing this work at the moment.
Is it on the UFW website?
On our website, you could find the Central Valley Rapid Response Network, which is the current Rapid Response Network. I don't think we have ours on the website. It's more grassroots, I would say.
Okay, and what is your website address?
The UFW Foundation, we have TikTok, Instagram. The direct website is ufwfoundation.org.
And you mentioned TODEC. I'm familiar with TODEC. Mm-hmm. They do a lot of good stuff in the community.
They do.
So that's a great resource as well. Talk about what are some of the other challenges that farm workers face. ICE is actually the most prominent and it's getting a lot of attention. But I'm sure there are other issues and challenges that farm workers and their families and immigrant families face in the Coachella Valley. What are some of those issues?
Another large chunk of our work that we do is labor rights. Many farm workers are not aware of their rights or are, I think, fearful of trying to step up and speak up for their rights for the same reason. If they speak up their right, they're afraid of retaliation. They're afraid of losing their job, not being called up again for the next season. I think just simply knowing their rights is another big issue out here in the Coachella Valley.
Okay. And I want to give UFW Foundation a shout out a little more because you mentioned that, or we both mentioned that it's been around for 20 years. Your family's been involved for a really long time. Do you want to talk about some of the achievements or things that the organization has been able to do to help families and immigrants and immigrant families in the Valley?
Yeah, our foundation, like I mentioned before, it's our 20th year. My coworker Cruz Rangel and I is our 5th year here in the Coachella Valley. Unfortunately, it's only me and him out here. We don't have an office. We cover Riverside County and Imperial County, me and my coworker, but we have a team behind us that jumps in to support whenever we need them. And throughout those 20 years, the foundation has had many successes because our main offices also help out with immigration services. It's free for those that qualify. We have offices in Fresno, in Bakersfield, Salinas. And those offices have been helping also with Know Your Rights and everything related to immigration services. We've also had significant policy wins. In 2007, the foundation established the Citrus Freeze Disaster Relief Program, which distributed more than 2,000 individuals and advocated for almost $1.75 million in emergency funding. In 2005, working with Representative Chu, they issued the first comprehensive standard in the nation protecting California farm workers from the heat, so outdoor work. That was in 2005. Later in 2015, the UFW, along with the UFW Foundation, worked with Jerry Brown to strengthen these rules. We also, during the pandemic, we also helped out along with funding that came from USDA. We distributed more than $90 million in emergency funding. So any farm worker that worked during the pandemic, we were able to give them a $600 payment. And we did that throughout all of California. We also served farm workers in Guam, in the Mariana Islands. So I think that was another of our big wins.
So I do want to go back a little bit. I was thinking about those wins and also how long you and your family have been involved with UFW Foundation. It's been a part of your life for a really long time. So when you think about what's happening in terms of the ICE rates, are you scared for people that you know, your own family or friends, or?
Definitely. We have friends, neighbors, family members, just our neighbors. I wouldn't necessarily say scared, more frustrated, mad, because we know these people and we know they're hard-working, innocent people that it's something they didn't choose, but it's the life they live and they love it here and they work hard here. And it's frustrating to see that they live in fear. They live in that fear. Their families live in fear. I can only imagine the mental distress that can cause. It causes me mental distress. Our organizations, our coworkers, our community members, we talk about that. It's very unfortunate, and I can only imagine what those undocumented individuals feel.
Is there an effort to collaborate with mental health services or anything like that? Because I would say just in general, everything that we've been through from the pandemic on has been very challenging for a lot of people. And you add the ICE rates, that component to it, I'm sure that just compounds the challenges you have.
Definitely.
So is that something that you're working through?
We have partners that work in mental health from Imperial County to Riverside County. Even here, there's resources in the school districts that help parents or students with mental health. And it's, like you said, it's another serious issue, especially with everything with immigration, but also the economy is not at its best. It's another pressure they have on top of that. So I think it's difficult times for our community.
Absolutely. Baltazar, thank you for being here and sharing what you do with UFW Foundation, the important work for an important part of our community and our economy. So it's greatly appreciated.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
That's it for this episode. Please, if you'd like to continue to get episodes of Healthy Desert, Healthy You, it's available on Spotify, Apple, Audible, YouTube, wherever you enjoy your podcasts. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Healthy Desert, Healthy You. This podcast is a production of the Desert Healthcare District and Foundation in Palm Springs, California. For more information, please visit the website dhcd.org. Our annual conference site is healthydeserthealthyu.com. This podcast is available at most major podcast portals, including Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Audible, Captivate.fm, Spotify, and YouTube Music. Thanks for listening. Be sure to subscribe.